Who is the idiot that said no one buys CDs anymore? Hey guys, it's Madeline here, and I'm back with another video about my new music collection, how it's grown in 2019. Granted, I am kind of lying. 3 of these CDs that I'm going to show in this video were actually bought before 2019 because that was before my music collection really got started. So I am going to start with those first, just a really quick rendition of how I got them and when I got them. The first CD we have is Finally by an indie band, Red Bandana. This band played at my middle school when I was about 10 years old, and I got this CD at that concert in a raffle for good behavior. Alexandra Mays, which is the signature right at the corner here, she is actually still playing right now. The next CD I have is Cage the Elephant Unpeeled, which was a 16th birthday present from my parents. It is in super good condition, except while I was trying to take the book out, I did kind of rip the sleeve. And the last CD I have is actually the first CD that I actually bought with my own money, the White Stripes Dish Dill, because this was on a Black Friday sale at Barnes & Noble. My parents did help me pay for it because I didn't have enough money to buy it, but I still paid for most of it. Because there are so many CDs, I'm trying not to spend an hour on this video. All I'm gonna say, the date, where I got them, favorite song, least favorite song. There are a few CDs here that I'm not showing for various reasons. And of course, the first album I got in 2019 was Velvet Starlings EP by Velvet Starlings, of course. I actually got 2 of them. And then I got 2 more on the 19th of October. For some strange reason, don't ask me. I got these first 2 because I bought them on Bandcamp. So this actually isn't the original disc. The original disc I actually sat on, that I was trying to do this weird stunt that never actually got in the video. Oh, jeez, do not. Whoa. Shit. That was not smart. At all. My favorite song on this album is most definitely Sold Down the River. It's my favorite song of all time. Least favorite song, No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings, Christian, if you're watching this. And of course, the first album I got in 2016 that wasn't an EP, and that is actually my favorite album that's not an EP, Seeing Stars by Plasticine. This was the first album I bought on Discogs. My favorite song on this album is most definitely Picture in My Mind. Least favorite song on this album, Who Are You? Underrated song, again, no one knows about this album. But my second favorite song is She Goes On. There were a few other albums that I got rid of during this time, so I did get an REM album, Automatic for the People, that I got rid of, so I'm not going to talk about it. And with that album, I also got this Beatles album. This is actually CD that was burned by my grandfather. It's Past Masters Volume 2. Probably my least favorite CD that I own right now. My favorite song on this album, probably Revolution. Least favorite song, most definitely You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. And of course the next album is Plasticine EP by Plasticine. Can I just say, I love how this album was sold with the back and the front being like this. I got this album from Discogs again. My most favorite song, I Hate Myself. My favorite song on this album, by far, my favorite song by him in general, is Now Is One. Beautiful song. You have to go listen to it, even though it's not available anywhere. Least favorite song, Hey You, sorry. I got another album during this time, Blurry Face by 21 Pilots, which I traded for the REM album because I knew it would be easy to get rid of, and I did eventually get rid of it. I got that album on the 12th of June. Of course, I had to get Love Everything, Love Everyone by Velvet Starlings, my favorite EP/album of all time, by my favorite band of all time. Originally, this album actually was just, I went to a show in Pasadena and they gave me this, but I did eventually buy it on Bandcamp, and that is actually the version that I'm holding right now. And this is another one of those albums that I used to have 4 of for some reason, but the album itself cost me about $9.50. Favorite song on this album, Emerald Isle. Least favorite song on the album, really hurts to pick one. Karmic Lemonade. Oh my goodness, am I really saying this? The next album I got was White Blood Cells by, of course, the White Stripes. Best White Stripes album ever. This album I got at Barnes & Noble, and I also bought a second copy on the 30th of October for unnamed reasons. Favorite song on this album, I said it in my vinyl collection, We're Gonna Be Friends. Least favorite song, This Protector. The next album we have is Skylab. No. The next album we have is Side Effects by Skylab. This is another one of the songs from Roger Gisborne that I made an entire video about. Yay. I got this album also from Discogs, and I got a second copy as well. Favorite song on the album would have to be Intravenous Star. Least favorite song on the album, I want to be cheap and say the Space Case interlude, but that's part of being no one, so I'm gonna have to say Ignition. Next album I got was another one by Roger Gisborne, of course, Pure Electric Light by The Local Division. Probably my favorite ensemble that this guy's been in, or led, really. Plasticine was really good, though. And I also got it off Discogs. It cost me €7.50. 750 euros, Canadian dollars, I think that is. Favorite song on this album, Stroke of Genius, even though I don't listen to it. Least favorite song, Sister Medicate Me. My favorite song that I actually do listen to is Sanctuary. The album was addicting, probably should have bought it. Not a very good idea on my part. I don't care. The next album I got was Help a Stranger from the Raconteurs, and this was my favorite CD for like the longest time. I got this CD on Target.com because for some reason they wouldn't let me buy something unless I paid for $30, so I was just like, fine, I'm getting Help a Stranger. Favorite song on this album, Help Me Stranger. Least favorite song on this album, again, hard to choose, but I'm gonna have to say Thoughts and Prayers just because I'm not familiar with it. Okay. Not even half the way through yet. The next album I have is Vices and Virtues by Panic at the Disco. This is my first Panic at the Disco album. It was on clearance at Best Buy, but I technically didn't buy it. My dad did because he didn't want me spending money. Thanks, Dad. Favorite song on this album, I'm still gonna have to say The Ballad of Mona Lisa. It's amazing. Least favorite song, I don't remember most of the songs on this album because I don't listen to it that much. Probably Always? I don't remember what Always sounds like. The next album we have is The White Stripes by The White Stripes. I got this one at the same time that I got the Help vinyl, which was my first vinyl, at Bookman's in Arizona. Favorite song on this album, I really don't know. I Thought Piranhas, probably. Least favorite song on the album, St. James Infirmary Blues, just because I don't listen to it at all. The next album I have is Singles by The Smiths, but not really by The Smiths, because this is the only compilation album I have, and I hate myself for it. This album I bought on Discogs. I haven't listened to this album too much, even though I really enjoyed the first listen. Favorite song on the album, obviously There's a Light That Never Goes Out. Least favorite song, I don't really know, because again, I don't know the songs on this album, but of the ones I know, probably Ask. Then I have Smoke and Mirrors by The Pacific, and I got 2 albums with this actually. It was given to me actually as a gift. This was the first CD that I ever got that I didn't know anything about the artist. I listened to it, and now they're on my top 10 bands. Favorite song on this album is probably One Life. Least favorite song on this album that I listened to would have to be Shoot to Kill, just gets irritating. This is a CD that I got with the Pacific album. This is the Screening EP by The Screening. I don't really like this CD. Take back what I said about the Beatles. This is my least favorite CD. Favorite song on this album, probably Diem. Least favorite song, oh my goodness, You Got Me. Literally no one knows who these people are. Next album we have is Get Behind Me, Satan by The White Stripes. I bought all of The White Stripes on just in one fell swoop because I wanted to finish my collection of them. I got this album from Barnes & Noble. This is my least favorite White Stripes album. Just fun fact. But my least favorite song on this album is probably White Moon. And my favorite song, I wanna say, is I'm Lonely, but I ain't that lonely yet. Next up, Under the Great White Northern Lights, also by The White Stripes, a soundtrack from their documentary that I also bought because I couldn't get enough of it. I got this album off of Discogs, and I got it with another album as well. Favorite song on this album, obviously Jolene. Least favorite song, Ball and Biscuit. It's not my favorite Jack White song. Next up we have Employment by Kaiser Chiefs, my first and only Kaiser Chiefs album so far. I got this album also from Discogs, same seller. My favorite song on this album is going to have to be Modern Way. Least favorite song is OMG. Go listen to this entire album, really. Icky Thump, also by the White Stripes. And this album, my favorite song is Icky Thump, my favorite White Stripes album of all time. Least favorite song, most definitely St. Andrew, This Battle is in the Air. Next up, we have Elephant from the White Stripes. This one, again, I got on Discogs with 2 albums. My favorite song on this album is The Hardest Button to Button. My least favorite song, Little Acorns, I think. In the Cold Cold Night. Just go listen to it live, especially the Under the Great White Northern Lights version. Meg can be a good singer in certain situations, and this was the best way to utilize her vocals. Next up, we have Kula Shaker's Peasants, Pigs, and Astronauts, my first Kula Shaker album, and Kula Shaker is now my 6th favorite band of all time because I got this album. I bought this album at that cool record store that I talked about earlier. I got it with another album as well that I'm going to talk about in a second. My favorite song on this album, probably Shower Your Love, is just an amazing song. Least favorite song, I'm not too familiar with these songs. The last song, Namami Nanda Nandana. Underrated song, You're a wizard in a blizzard, a mystical machine gun! I spammed people for so long after hearing that song. Next album we got with the Kula Shaker album, Blunderbuss by Jack White. I didn't like this album that much. My favorite song on this album is Love Interruption. My least favorite song on this album, I don't remember. Coming near the end of this list, the next CD I have is Plasticine, Times Don't Change single, and can I just tell you, the content on this CD is not very good, but just look at this presentation. Oh my goodness gracious, it's beautiful. Just look at how beautiful that just the font, the way that it's. I love how they did this. Oh my goodness, Plasticine had the best art ever. I got this album from Discogs from a really sweet seller. My favorite song on this album is Times Don't Change. My least favorite song on this album is Times Don't Change because there are only 2 songs on the album. They're the same song, and I can't tell the difference between the 2 of them. Moving on. This one is Kula Shaker, Cape 2.0. I got this album at the very cool record store. Favorite song on this album would have to be Let Love Be With You. Least favorite song, Oh Mary? I don't remember. And the last CD I have to show you is Broken Boy Soldiers by the Raconteurs, which I got at the same time as this Kula Shaker album. Favorite song on this album, Steady As She Goes, of course. Least favorite song on this album, I actually haven't listened to this yet, so I don't know all the songs on the album. And yeah, that was my CD collection. If you want to see my vinyl collection, I'll put it in the end card that's coming up soon. And yeah, please like the video if you did like it, and subscribe if you want to see more. I do a bunch of analysis videos, reviews, etc. And there's a link in the description with my Medium if you want to read about any new ranking list coming up. I'm about to rank all the Beatles albums if you want to see when that's released. So yeah, follow me on Instagram for updates about all those, and thanks guys for watching, and remember to play it loud. Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just any. Help! Help! I'm sorry.